Hello and welcome to Thematically Speaking. And unlike the title suggests, it's actually Wednesday night tonight because, as everyone knows, everyone is busy this time of year. I'm going to get straight into it tonight. I've got Joe from Theme Park Insanity. How are you doing, Joe?
Hey guys, you all right? Yeah, not bad. Not too bad, thank you.
Too.
How are you? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, got the festive spirit. Episode number 40 today.
Fantastic. So bang on the mark. We've got the lovely festive overlay, looking very, very good. Loving it.
And Stacey might join in soon as well.
Fantastic. Hopefully we'll see you soon, Stacey.
Do we want to, before I get into all the Christmas stuff I want to talk about, do you want to talk about the return of your lives for anyone who's not aware that they've returned?
Absolutely, yeah. So as many of you will know, obviously, TPI kind of started out where we did quite regular live casts featuring guests and all that sort of thing. Now, that kind of went dark for a little bit of time due to obviously sort of trying to redirection things and obviously launching the channel and everything else. But lives are now back. We live cast every Sunday, normally as a rule, around about 8 o'clock on Sunday evening, covering everything from the latest news to topical debates and all that sort of things. Again, it's fully interactive, and we've moved away from Facebook now, so we're actually live casting on YouTube as opposed to Facebook. Now, as I say, we are live. It normally lasts around about an hour, give or take, and obviously it's your chance to kind of hang out with us and sort of have a bit of a chat and just catch up on the local news, really. But as I said, that is every Sunday live at 8, so if you do want to come and join us, good to see you.
And I've actually been learning a lot from that because I've been watching. I watch them live, obviously, but all the stuff we're getting, all the information you're getting up to date information. This isn't. You're getting you get. I don't know how to put it here. You kind of get access to the information as it gets released.
Literally, as soon as it drops, I'm near enough picking it up. We usually pick up news within about an hour at the very most. Sometimes it's usually a lot earlier than that. And I've got various different sources that it all comes from. So all the industry news that we share is coming pretty much from the horse's mouth in most cases, which is great. So we learn a lot too.
So what do you think's happening to Joel before we talk about Christmas? Do you want to, for the people watching, speculation?
Yeah, so as many of you know... Sorry, go on.
Do you think it's going to be like a big swerve and it's just going to be something they've not hinted to at all?
You see, I'm thinking, because I've had a lot of time to think about this, and I've kind of look at the people involved with the project. Obviously, we know that John Wadley's part of it. We know that they really want to overhaul this ride, and it's something that Joel has needed for a very long time. I've been saying for years myself. I mean, I was a massive fan of Joel. I loved it, even though it was crap towards the end of it. Putting it politely, it really needed something doing with it. But you know, I've always been a fan. I think we're looking at a major overhaul. I think we're looking at new ride vehicles. I've heard rumors of that. I think we're looking at a new sort of layout for the ride potentially. I don't think they'll keep the same layout, and I hope to God they don't utilize loads and loads of screen technology, because as we saw with Gangster Granny, they definitely did do that. And as much as it does work well for some things, I think if you want to do kind of a traditional sort of haunted house, which I do think it's going to head towards being, I do think that you need to get an even balance. Now, with the theme of it, I would very much like to see kind of a Victorian-esque sort of horror-style house. I do think we're looking at a pre-show potentially. I do think that could well happen. Nothing confirmed. I'm purely speculating, but I do think that we're looking at a pre-show for Jewel. I think whatever it's going to be called, it won't be called Jewel. The guns will be gone, and I think we're looking at a brand new state-of-the-art ride experience. But will it be open for opening day?
I think it will. They closed it early, didn't they? Because they need to get the 6 months in, they said. And I do think we don't get an IP.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think we will. I think with John Wadley being involved, I think the last thing they're going to want to do is involve an IP with a ride of that, sort of that caliber and that kind of sort of connotation. Because, of course, the previous iterations and Haunted House and everything had quite a cult following, as does Nemesis and stuff. So I don't really think they're going to revamp it with an IP. I mean, if they did, I'd be surprised. But yeah, I think we're looking at an original story, potentially around Emily Alton, that sort of feel, maybe. Potentially even a Doll's House. That's my thought.
So I thought Emily Alton, but then I didn't want to get my hopes up too much. So what do you think about, before we get into Lightopia, have you got any thoughts on Nemesis?
Yes, I mean, obviously they're sort of cracking on with the work quite fast on that, aren't they, really? They're pulling out a lot of track. Tower Street have obviously been sharing aerial updates, which have been great. And I think they're all the way up till kind of that final turnabout before it goes into the final inversion now. So they've really cracked on with that. I think realistically we'll see most of that ride removed by about spring of next year. And I think installation of new track, we're probably looking at summertime, I'd reckon, sort of late spring, early summer, for all of that to start going in. I do think there's going to be a lot more to it, obviously, than just a retrack. As John Wadley did say, looking at a few surprises along the way. I wouldn't be surprised if they updated the skin of the sort of the station and obviously the Beast, and did a lot with that, made it look more lifelike, maybe add screens and stuff into that, very similar to Bob. And I think potentially some sort of form of pre-show, but not a pre-show, kind of maybe sort of something that's playing as you kind of walk through the queue line, that's kind of giving you a bit of context to what's sort of going on with the ride. So I think we're looking at some major positive changes. It will be a new generation, and to be honest, it'll be exciting to see what they do. I'm really excited. I love the ride, so yeah, the future is going to be really good with it, I reckon.
Yeah, the other two things. What's your opinion on anything happening with Subterra, and how close do you think we'll be allowed to get to Nemesis during next season?
Right, so with regards to Subterra, we know that they're completely and utterly reflooring all of the queue line. They've been well on with that since Scare. Well, I think, was it back in the Scarefest? And we've seen that they pulled all that floor line up. Now, again, there's been aerial shots showing work has progressed on that. I do think we're looking at some kind of attraction in that building. I definitely feel they're going to bring some form of a Nemesis-style attraction to that area. I've heard a lot of kind of rumours, again, these are purely just rumours, of Subterra returning, but in a completely different format, a revised format with revised ride systems and everything else, but kind of sort of teasing towards this new direction that the Nemesis rebirths can kind of give. In terms of how close we'll be able to get to Nemesis, I reckon maybe as far as about where the Nemesis sign kind of is. I think after that, it'll be walled off, basically. We won't be able to get any closer to the ride. And I think, obviously, we'll get diverted in and around where the Blade is, down towards Galactica, around that way. I think that entire area where Nemesis is just going to be completely shut off, in my opinion. And for the work, it needs to be, really. I think they need the space. So, there you go.
Are you going to be there on opening day, taking photos?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be there for opening day. We're having a meetup, TPI meetup. So
I forgot about that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. We've got a meetup event coming up.
Go on to Lightopia.
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk about the market first? Did you do much about the market? Hang on, I'll just change it over.
Yep, no worries. Right, so I mean, I wasn't overly impressed with the market. I kind of saw what they did in the year previous, and what they did in the year previous looked very impressive. I wasn't there, sadly, that year, so this year was my first time checking out Christmas. But I really feel like the market was kind of done on much more of a budget basis. I think there could have been a lot more in the way of kind of gifts and stuff. There was more food, in my opinion, I think, really.
Getting the money's worth out of that pub, though, aren't they? The bar.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
For every event.
That's been at the resort, all year, isn't it? Pretty much since Mardi Gras. So, yeah. But no, it was a nice little audition. I do feel they could have done a lot more with it. And I do feel they could have obviously maybe toned the prices down of things a little bit, because I felt like things were very expensive for what they were. I mean, obviously, we paid $7.50 for free lots of marshmallows, which is a lot of money. The only reason
were they being quite, I don't know, because I don't know if you've seen my vlog. We went with Ben and Holly Oktoberfest, and because it said toast your own, we took our own and had our own skewers. I don't know if they've clamped down on that now.
You see, we should have done that. I don't know if they have or not, to be honest with you. I couldn't say, but in reality, that would have been a much better way to go. It would have been a lot cheaper.
They did have words with us about it, but then Ben obviously said, well, it says on the side, toast your own. So we bought our own.
I mean, maybe you're not supposed to do, but at the end of the day, I would have been, I think in hindsight, I'd be more tempted to do that in the future. But I think the chances are they'll probably clamp down on that by next year, sadly.
Did you say that was £2.50 each?
Yeah, £2.50 each.
£2 each at Oktoberfest. So the price has already gone up.
So they whacked it up by 50p, basically. $7.50 for 3 lots.
Did you try any of the Yorkshire pudding wraps?
I didn't, sadly, no. We went for the cheesy bratwurst sausages, which were exceedingly nice, to be honest. But I do like a good Yorkshire pudding wrap, and obviously being from Yorkshire, I love Yorkshire puddings. So one to try next year, I reckon.
Did they still have the this could sound weird, I word it like this. The ketchup and the mustard, you get them out of like udders
that you kind of milk, like you're almost yeah they did. Funnily enough, actually, when we went to a local Christmas event with my wife and son this weekend, and they had a bit of a German market up where we are, and Kelly, funnily enough, said that's the only thing that was kind of missing from making it kind of authentic. And I said, to be fair, it's going to look a bit dodgy if you're all stood around with your kids doing that, innit? But to be fair, you do it at Towers, don't you? So, you know. Yeah, very questionable.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yorkshire pudding wrap.
There we are.
Did you want to talk about your thoughts on this band? They were also at Alton Towers when I went. I thought they were quite good.
They were, to be honest. Yeah, they were very good. They weren't just kind of sort of situated on that bandstand either, were they? They were kind of making their way up and down sort of the market. So they're almost playing when they were moving. I actually got them on camera playing as they were kind of coming down. And the guy sort of like smiled and nodded and then just kind of carried on. The fact they can actually move about and still play all their instruments like that's pretty cool, to be fair.
It's got that it's quite impressive. I've not got a photo of it here, but the rig he's got for the drum set, it's quite impressive.
It's impressive, isn't it?
It's got like the old chest mount, almost like GoPro.
Yeah. Sort of sits like waist height, doesn't it? And he was sort of playing it like that. It worked really well, to be fair, actually. It was good.
Talk about the lights. So you didn't do it last year?
No, so I missed out on it the year before, sadly, due to, I seem to have silly amounts of car issues, as many people know. And unfortunately, that was one of them. But this year we did make it down. And to be fair, I was really impressed with Lightopia. It was by far the highlight of the night for me. It really was. I mean, the detail of them and obviously, sort of the originality and the creativity and it was mind blowing. It really was. And yeah, a really great first impression from something like that, really, to be honest.
What time
Fantastic
did you
experience.
go? What rough time did you go through? Because the day you went was, I assume it was quite packed. Because I don't know if you want to tell people. I mean, you mentioned it in your live a week or two ago about the ticket situation because you got a platinum manual pass.
I did, yeah. And unfortunately, when I tried to book it, because we tried to book for a Sunday, you couldn't book, which was very strange. So I thought, well, at the end of the day, I was meeting a friend down there that I haven't seen for ages. So I said, well, I'm going to, obviously, I'll pay for a ticket this time, which I didn't really want to do, but it was the only way of kind of getting there. 2 days after I did that, they decided to release tickets for it. So they're literally releasing these things last minute before you can even book it, which really annoyed me, to be honest. Now, what I did do was I did go up to guest services while I was there. I got a full refund basically for the ticket that I bought, and then I just basically bought a Lightopia ticket. Obviously, Lightopia isn't included, even if even with your pass, that is an upcharge, and it's £15 each, which I do think's reasonable given just how much there is to see and what there is to do as well. But obviously, with that, they were very good in terms of sort of refunding me the amount and letting me actually just basically have access for my pass as per other pass users. But they did mention at the time that they were having issues with the booking system, with the fact that Merlin are overhauling everything and kind of redesigning stuff. So maybe that was a reason. I don't know. I was a little bit disappointed that I had to pay, but I was prepared to do it that once, and I wouldn't do it again at all. I really wouldn't. So yeah.
What kind of... Sorry, I'm just continuing for what I said before. What kind of time did you go through? I'm just going to ask you compared to our experience.
Yeah, so we went through around about 5:30, thereabouts. So it was pretty dark by that point.
Because when we went probably about 4:30. It wasn't long after it opened. But I don't know why I was expecting it to be a lot more control over the batching. When we went, it was just constant flow of people. And people standing in everyone's way, parking up buggies in front of displays and trying to take photographs. I don't know if you had the same experience.
That was the only, sadly, I didn't mention it in my vlog. I really should have done, to be honest, actually. Thinking back, obviously, that was the one issue that I did have, was the fact that when I was trying to film a lot of stuff, people were literally just walking right in my way. And obviously, trying to sort of look at things, as you say, everybody seemed to be crowding at certain points. It kind of took away a little bit from the experience, and I do feel like they could have batched better. Maybe sent you through in sort of like 3 or 4 minute intervals or something like that, just to give the people in front of you the time to kind of move up a little bit and you kind of sort of go at the same sort of rate. But obviously, some people take the time with it and look at it, look at things a lot more, and other people are just going to rush straight through. So, as much as you kind of could do something with the batching, I don't know if it would make any much sort of difference in terms of the overall thing. It just felt there was a lot of people going through at the same time, especially even for us. But I still enjoyed it. So,
did you feel like the well, I don't know, actually. I was going to say the second half was better than the first half, but the first half was probably...
There was a big space between...
There were a lot of big spaces, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's towers. There was big blank spaces, should I say, between where sort of you go around from where Battle Galleons is and you start going down that slope. From about the bottom of that slope up to where the conservatories were, it felt like there was a huge space, kind of just an empty space where there wasn't really anything to see. And then throughout the gardens, it was quite clever what they had done with the gardens, especially with the sort of conservatories having all the lights that kind of moved in time with the music. You had everything that was down near where the fountains were, which obviously, again, did the same sort of thing. So it was quite clever, but there was a very different feel there, and obviously you had a bit more interactivity with that, with the fact that there was the bongo drums to play and stuff like that as well. So it was just that little bit different, but it did feel that the second half was lacking in comparison to the first half, in my opinion.
I feel like the first half had a lot of I wouldn't say the same thing, but I kind of felt like by the time I got to halfway down Haunted Hollow, it was I was just kind of feeling like I was seeing the same thing. It was just random animals, and
yeah, there was a lot of that, wasn't there? Did you feel like there was kind of much of a theme to certain areas, or?
I assume the theme was just animal. Obviously, I don't know if this is spoilers or not because we're just saying what's there, but they've got like the Freaky Five outside Joel, that massive what's it called, Venus flytrap thing.
They have, and the Harry Potter mandrakes as well. They were quite cool.
And the Day of the Dead stuff.
Yeah.
But did you notice that? I don't know if I've got the photo of it. There was a flower where the butterfly on it was moving its wings very slowly.
I didn't see that. No,
I wondered why they didn't incorporate movement into any more of it. But
yeah, to be fair, it would have been nice to have seen some of the stuff in there moving, and it definitely would have added a certain different depth to some of them, because you could have had that quite easily. But it just, I suppose, it depends on kind of how, sort of difficult it is for them to do that.
What did you think about the theming then? And did you feel like there was any theming in the areas? Trek and Taylor's didn't, and I don't think there was any either. But
not really, no. There were certain areas that, I mean, for instance, like around where Jewel was, obviously felt a little bit Halloweenish, and obviously sort of that style of feel, and kind of going. The one thing that really bugged me was, when you're kind of going down towards Jewel, there's literally sunflowers everywhere, and this whole summery feel and everything. You consider
like
where
dandelions and stuff.
Yeah, you consider where that area is. It just didn't fit at all. It felt really bizarre walking down with all this summery theming everywhere, or summery flowers and stuff, and you've literally got a graveyard on the other side of it. It felt really bizarre.
Did you feel like they spent a lot of money on those flowers there when they had a lot of blank areas elsewhere?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it really felt like they crammed so much more into that area, and obviously so much more into that first part than they had into the second. The second felt very spread out compared to the first. But in terms of theme, I wouldn't really say there was an overall theme. There was a little bit of Halloween near where obviously Joel was, and that was literally it, really. And obviously it was a bit wintry at the start with kind of the Christmas trees and the polar bears and stuff, but the rest of it just seemed to be a very mixed bag, to be honest.
Hello.
What did you think of the theme while you're here?
Why are you talking about it? Hello. Sorry, excuse me a minute.
Yeah, because we've got the tree downstairs now.
Bonkers.
So in this room, we've got the big armchair, which is nice, but it's not really much room for it.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I mean, I quite like the squirrels. I must admit, Trek and Taylor's obsessed with the squirrels. I must admit, I did like that. There was quite a strange mixture of things.
I didn't even think about the music. What did you think about the music they were using, Joe?
I hate the fact that some of it was IP. It's got me copyright stricken quite a few times on there, sadly. In fact, one of them, the show at the end, the light show with the water, I've had to completely and utterly mute part of it because was it Shakin' Stevens is apparently a copyright thing everywhere. So it's just basically it's you've got the image and that's it. I've had to completely revamp it. So that really annoyed me, to be honest with you. And I didn't really feel like some of it fitted with the sort of supposed theme or whatever. It just felt very sort of mix and bag, sort of a very mixed bag of everything, really. If that makes sense.
I must admit, it was the one where after the squirrels, I thought, oh, they've got now another theme, which is because I thought like spring because of the flowers.
Yeah.
Then like autumn, you get your Halloween, and then the Halloween leaves, and then winter. But then winter wasn't there, and that's what confused me. And then it ended up with like
Winter Wonderland was like the rest of
Easter
Towers.
all of a sudden. So I was a bit like, so what happened to the winter bit? But then I don't know. It was good.
What season did the emojis fall into?
To be honest, if you're looking at it from like a family point of view, like for children, it's magical, isn't it? It's just
absolutely,
the lights and shapes and everything. And
I'm going to ask
everyone
who's watching, and Joe included as well in this. What did you think? Because you didn't go last year. And to be fair, I didn't go last year, but I saw bits of it. But did you feel like some of these models, I suppose you call them, had kind of not been looked after very well, and they had like tears in them and stuff like that? Did you notice that kind of stuff?
I noticed a lot of damp, to be honest with you. There was a lot of sort of damp and mold on some of them. I definitely noticed that. And there was also quite a lot of patches as well, because they've obviously used sort of silk painted canvas to kind of create some of them. And some of them look really blotchy and really patchy, to be honest with you. So I don't get the feeling that they kind of did look after some of them as well as they probably should. But kind of going back to the whole family thing, I mean, obviously we had Theo with us. Theo didn't know where to look. Theo had so much to look at. And he was just running, going like, look at this. And, you know, he was just blown away by everything he saw. So from a younger point of view, when you're not kind of looking at it as analytically as we kind of are, you know, for kids, it's amazing. It's something very magical. And I really felt like it worked well for that. But
yeah, I felt like for me, they really did well with more the interaction of it, because a lot of people just see lights and go, there's lights. But the one bit where they had the drums, that was a little bit more interactive.
Oh, even Kelly was jumping on that. She was literally like straight in there,
pushing the kids off.
Yeah, and the projectors as well. Like, obviously, you can project and make shadows and dance around and stuff like that as well. I think the interactive ones are the better ones, I think.
Wasn't many of them, though, was there?
There wasn't, no. They were quite rare then, weren't they? So
it would have been nice to have seen more of those, to be honest. And hopefully that's maybe something to include moving forwards.
Yeah. What was your favourite bit then out of the interactive ones? I'm trying to quote, but it doesn't quite work.
Interactive ones, definitely the bongos. To be honest, the drums. I think out of all the lanterns and everything there, though, I mean, obviously there was so much to see. But for me, I think maybe the picture you've got on there at the moment, obviously the dragon in front of the towers, that was by far the most impressive one that they had. I
feel like they should have kept that somewhere where you couldn't see or walk near it during the day.
Yeah, I think they should have, to be honest. I think really actually having the finale of it visible all day long. And also as well, they left them all lit up all day long as well. Like, even though it was daylight. Really? Oh, yeah. Even though it was daylight, they're all still lit up. Which was really weird.
Yeah.
So,
and that's because you've got Theo, obviously. What was it? Because what I was commenting earlier on how big they were batching, was it kind of, did you have to keep an eye on him to make sure you didn't lose him, sort of thing? Because there's so many people going through there.
We did, to be honest with you, yeah, because obviously with him being sort of as small as he is, and I mean, he's not small, but he's small enough to lose in a crowd, basically. And we kept having to like watch him like a hawk and call him back every 2 seconds, because Theo basically he's got ADHD, so he runs off and he can't stay still, and he literally darts around. You know, even in the house he does it. So obviously running off every 2 seconds. I was trying to obviously look at what there was, as was Kelly, but then still keep an eye on him at the same time. And with so many people being around, sometimes that was a real challenge, to be honest. It really was. So, yeah, definitely difficult.
One thing I wanted to make, I was just thinking about the bit at the start with the Alton Towers logo, and then it's in front of Catan Canyon, you got that tree. I just remembered, you're probably not going to remember yourself now, but anyone else who goes, I put it in our vlog, but then I missed out. I put music over when I was saying it because there was Mariah Carey going on at the same time. But I said to Ben, the thing it was floating on just reminded me of, do you remember on This Morning when the weatherman used to be on the Thames?
Yeah.
And we were talking about that, but it got missed out the vlog because
when he used to jump around all over the UK and stuff. The amount of times you saw people falling in off that though as well. That used to make me laugh like hell. Did that? It really did.
But that's what it brought back, because I saw it was all floating on this thing. In front of the Catan Canyon side.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I think my favourite bit was actually none of the sculptures. It was the bit, I call this my favourite place in Alton Towers anyway, but that bit where you can overlook the valley. And then it had all the lights that looked like fireworks on the trees.
Yeah,
that little cracking did that. It really did. It looked so good.
It was,
and obviously that's something that they did really well. I mean, I love that bit with the sort of watering cans as well, and the fact that all the lights kind of, it almost looked like they were trickling different colours. But you know, sort of looking down over the valley with all of that going on, and the laser lights and everything, and the music, that was fantastic. It really was. It was something very good.
Stacey, was that the Battle of Fire that moved?
Yeah, so the flowers that you see on the screen there, by the way, people that are watching it as well, the 2 of them actually moved slightly.
Oh, right.
It wasn't like, oh my gosh, flap like a butterfly like you normally would. And
it was really odd.
And blink several times. But it just was like moving really, really slowly and gracefully. And
to show more well to get back down and see.
It felt quite peaceful. Yeah.
I mean, even without the movement, though, it was gorgeous. I mean, this was the thing, like the quality of the lanterns throughout and the detail in them and the originality, especially at the beginning. They've really thought about what they've done with it. And, you know, from the creativity point of view, and to see something like that here in the UK, I mean, that's magical in itself, really. It really is.
I think from what I've watched and heard, there was a lot of appreciation for the Pokemon sort of characters as well.
Yeah,
where they had like I think it was a panther or was it a jaguar or something, but it had two tails.
Yes, it did. Like Ninetales.
Yeah, and there was another one as well that had some different sort of characters.
I was talking about the Ponyta one.
One that looks like a Ponyta, yeah. There's a horse that looks like it's got flames as a mane and stuff like that. And
there was, yeah.
I'm
those were all at the beginning, weren't they?
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that was really good because it adds to that magicalness of the lanterns and the fantasy side, I think. But
absolutely,
I felt like I don't know if Joe would agree, but with what they had, I felt the route could have been shorter because there were a lot of empty spaces at times.
Yes, there was. To be fair, they could have condensed it a lot more than they actually did. I mean, obviously, it lasted a good amount of time, and there was certain areas, especially down near where Gloomy Wood was. In certain parts of that, there was little bits of that were kind of empty, and also as well with walking through Gloomy Wood and sort of Haunted Hollow and stuff. I mean, that felt really bizarre with the fact that like you're walking past all these like big gargoyles and stuff and everything else with like all these lovely sort of beautiful animals and owls and all that sort. It was really strange. It didn't feel right, putting it politely.
To be honest, I turned and went, "Oh, there's gargoyles still there."
We had these gargoyles as well. Yeah, the gargoyles had Christmas stuff on, didn't they?
Yeah, they had Christmas hats on.
Well, they were lit up at least.
I still think they need to put a giant Christmas hat on Bob, though. I think that's a missed opportunity right there.
Yeah,
I don't know, set fire to it if they accidentally set the.
Yeah, it would do, to be fair, actually. Yeah, but I mean, it make him look Christmassy. Bob getting in the spirit.
It's not like that or a load of fake snow like they did with the it was real snow on the opening day, and it made it look like it kind of looked like ash falling from like the cloud in the air in a way. Yeah. It looks so good on the opening day for that.
I can't remember. Did they have any bananas?
Dazza Morgan, evening.
Bananas.
Did they have any bananas?
I did keep my eyes. Excuse the pun. I did keep my eyes peeled for the bananas, but there wasn't any bananas.
Oh, that was a bad one.
I'm terrible.
Eyes peeled for the bananas.
What did you think about the water projection? Because we were quite excited because we'd done our retrospective a few weeks ago and we remembered this from the 2014 fireworks. And we thought it was great. So when we saw it, we got really excited.
I was so happy. I just heard it and I was like,
you were like, what's that?
And this was during the day before we even went into the actual Lightopia.
Oh, yeah, because I was trying to keep it secret because I knew about it.
And I was like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, Mike. And I literally grabbed his arm. And like, what? There's a projector screen.
To be fair,
a projector screen.
I absolutely loved it, to be honest. I thought it was a really fitting finale to it. The only slight issue that I did have with it was the fact that you were quite close to it, so you were getting wet when you were watching it.
Yeah,
with all the spray kind of coming off it. But no, it was fantastic. It really was. And obviously that you had the whole sort of Home Alone theme there, which was great. So obviously for me, it's sort of 90s throwback sort of thing. And then we had Shakin' Stevens and Sarah, various other things. It was a nice length as well. It wasn't too long.
It was about 10 minutes, wasn't it? At Game of Thrones at the end with Lightopia lit up.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So no, it was really good. It was a fitting addition and a fitting finale. You're right, breaking trails.
It kind of reminded me of like a snow globe with the way that obviously it would spray that direction anyway, but it kind of reminded me of a snow globe when you just look into this giant snow globe. And I was like, I feel all Christmassy now.
It kind of, I put the pieces together in my head because as soon as we had that start bit with Home Alone, I realised when Ginger and Brown went, they didn't do Lightopia bit. And they said it's playing Home Alone near the towers, but we don't know why. Well, obviously we know why now. So it's the music for that.
That's why, yeah.
Would you say it's worth the trip and money, says Matt from Breaking Trails? Hi, Walking with the Woods.
Depends how far you're coming from, because he lives in Wales. What do you think, Joe?
I drove 2.5 hours to get there, and I drove 2.5 back. That's my standard trip to Towers, and I do that. I can do that in a day. It's a 5-hour round trip, but in terms of the Christmas side of it and the rides and everything else, we had a lot of issues with ride reliability. In terms of Lightopia, definitely worth it, 100%. It is worth going and doing it just for that. For the market, it's a bit debatable, really. There's not a huge amount to see there, and things are very expensive. So unless you really are prepared to pay quite a fair bit for stuff and prepared to pay a bit for food, even with an annual pass, because you don't get your discount either. I wouldn't really say it's worth it for that, but definitely worth it for Lightopia, 100%.
I've also I discovered somewhere where the original Darkest Depths was, where there was two elves stood there at the entrance.
Oh, that was for hotel guests. Yeah, we were like, "What's this
And I
about?"
was like, "Oh, do we get to go in there?"
Because it had some really weird name. It wasn't just like go and meet Santa. It was
like
some
Elf Trail.
Elves Avenue. That
Yeah.
really booked. That was the one thing out of the whole day that really, really cheesed me off, to be honest with you, was the fact that now at Chessington and Legoland and other Merlin-owned parks, I believe you can actually pay to see Santa. Now, why you can't do that at Alton Towers, where you're going to get the biggest concentration of families going on a daily basis, unless you're staying at the hotel, I don't really feel that's very fair, personally. You know, I really wanted to take Theo down there. I wanted him to see Santa and go to the Christmas market and everything else. He did everything apart from see Santa. And obviously with Christmas, you know, that's the one thing for kids that kind of, it's that penultimate thing of it, basically. So really, I really feel that, you know, as great as it is having Santa sleepover and having Santa available for those staying overnight, really, you know, you should be letting people go through the day as well.
Were there people queuing when you were there? They had like a cattle pen, it looked like. That's why we were confused. That it was only for hotel guests.
So
there was nobody there.
We thought it was like a walk-through attraction just for everyone.
I'm surprised how long it's taken Alton Towers to do a Christmas, because before last year, I'm certain last year was the first year it was open at Christmas to non-hotel guests.
Oh, I don't know.
That is very true.
And I always thought, why are they not? Because people would pay to get in and just walk about, even if they can't go on the rides at Christmas. But
how
long is the trail? It depends how long, how slow you go around it. But
sometimes you want to stop and take photos, make sure you got the right lighting on your camera and stuff, which you should know, Matt.
Oh, by the
you're
end,
really good with the whole lights.
By about halfway through, there was a bit where there wasn't much going down to the conservatory bit, and I just wanted to get past everyone. I was like, no, this is just. It feels like they're almost repeating what they've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big blank space down there.
Was there an option to see Santa?
No, that's what we just talked about.
No, there wasn't.
Only hotel guests, but it's in the courtyard.
Yeah, so it's not an option if you go.
So you can see something there called Elf Avenue, and you think, okay, what's this? And you're not allowed in unless you stay at the hotel.
Yeah.
And just let know, Coaster Chicken, we appreciate you watching as well. So
yeah, thanks very much for joining us, dude.
Thank you.
Everyone as well. Thank you very much for joining us on a Wednesday evening as opposed to a Thursday.
Yeah, I do appreciate it.
That is my fault, so I do apologise.
Anyone who's watching live now, which is your favourite jumper? Because we're going to go into this.
Oh my gosh.
No, you see, I've got the new one and I've got it coming to my house, hopefully very soon. So Christmas.
A Merlin discount on that?
I did, yeah. You get 20% on it. So I paid, I can't remember how much it was actually. I don't think it was a massive amount. About 28 quid, I think it cost me in the end, which I didn't think was too bad, really. And it is, I'm getting it. Obviously, it's getting posted to me, so I'll have a lovely selfie of that, obviously on Christmas Day, which would be great.
See, I agree with Adventure Bears Global.
To me,
I think the one on the right, because you can wear it not just over.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. It's not a Christmas jumper. It's a bit like Die Hard again, isn't it?
It's a seasonal winter jumper. When with the other one, it has Christmas on it, and it's just Christmas.
Another thing I want to say: anyone who's not been to Lightopia yet and is planning on going, there are one, maybe two, of those sheds that have got the independent traders in them in the market. There's a couple that are Alton Towers merch, and as far as I'm aware, you don't get an annual pass discount. But if you go in the Towers Trading and buy the same thing, you can get your annual pass discount. So, what was that?
It's flashing. You got a pin badge.
I've got two, and I've got one of them's for a giveaway, and it's not just going to be that. I've got a whole little collection of stuff to give away, which I'll be announcing over the next 2 days. So that one.
Also, I'm not sure about. Was there another grotto in CBeebies?
There was that maze thing, wasn't there?
I don't know actually. No, not 100%.
Oh no, there was, but did you? Could you walk in? Maybe you could walk into that one.
There was that
but
one.
I'm not sure exactly what was in there. It was next to that. It was between Grandma and Justin's house.
That was the place to see Santa, wasn't it?
Because I thought they were selling trees there because it looked like a tree lot.
Mm-hmm. The pie factory.
I don't know if you could see Santa there though. I don't want to commit to that.
I can't remember, but I think there was something there, but we couldn't get near it because there was loads of children there. So
the purple one looks more Christmassy.
Oh
the blue one says Christmas on it.
I understand what you mean with the added snowflakes and trees.
I kind of like the simplicity of the blue one, really. Though, obviously, the purple one's got a lot more going on with it, but the blue one, obviously, you've got the Christmas logo on it, and then it's just a lot more simple in terms of the design.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Which I do think works really nicely.
I've seen
It doesn't look as busy, does it?
I've seen the one on the right too often. I've seen a lot of people wear it as well. Whereas I
Yeah.
feel like I'm wearing something different if I buy the one on the left.
Now you'll see everybody wearing that next year now as well.
Oh, I totally disagree with that. What do you think about Thorpe Park doing a Christmas event?
No.
You see, is it the right setting to do a Christmas event? Could you get away with Christmas at the Island Light now, over?
No, but
I don't think you could, to be honest with you, really. No.
in there.
Put Krampus in there.
To be fair, you could do, yeah. Actually, yeah, that is a thought. You could do that. You could retheme the rapids to Krampus's River Adventure, and obviously not take the IP away from was it Nigloland or whatever it's called over in France? You know, sort of don't clash with that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could do something potentially, but I don't think they could do it on the level that the other Merlin parks do. To be honest with you,
They could keep it scary because they did quite well for scare mazes, I think.
I'm surprised they didn't do a New Year's event there. Or do they do a New Year's event there at Thorpe Park? They used to in the Dome. They used to have a big party there, but it was very expensive.
I don't know.
And we're talking like 15 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know what they do nowadays. I don't think they do anything for obviously the closed period. They are literally just closed, and obviously they have a few little bits of merch on the online store. They've got pin badges and stuff on there, which are quite cool. But apart from that, they do nothing whatsoever. It's the other 3 Merlin parks that do. And I think the reason they do that is obviously the other 3 Merlin parks are more family focused, as where Thorpe's more about sort of the adults and the frills and everything. So I don't really feel like from that perspective, with the parks sort of aiming it at the older ones, that Christmas would really work. I think New Year's potentially, there's definitely something kind of available they could do there. They've certainly got the right setting for a decent firework display. But Christmas, yeah, I just don't think it'd work really, to be honest.
I remember they used to be open for like a long time ago. We're talking now about probably 15 years ago again. I remember they used to be open for February half term till none of the rides could be open, and then they scrapped it. But do you think Alton Towers will go back to that?
I don't think they will, sadly, unfortunately. And we've obviously seen that Blackpool's pushed theirs back by a month now as well. I think really for the UK, when reopening rides, I think March is kind of sort of the best time to do it, really, because the weather's getting a little bit more mild. It's kind of heading into a more sort of temperate climate. But I mean, on the other hand of it, we've seen a lot of other countries, particularly over in Europe. I mean, even you look at Energylandia, and obviously them running roller coasters in the snow this week. I mean, if they can do that, surely those rides can operate in the temperatures that we're getting over here. I think it's more just from a maintenance point of view that they close it so they can take the time with it. Yeah. But I don't know. It'd be nice to see Towers reopen in February, 100%. It really would. I think maybe on a slightly more reduced ride offering, again, kind of like very similar to Christmas, but maybe just a bit more kind of increase from that. Maybe the odd big roller coaster in there, you know, stuff that's finished its maintenance schedule and they can kind of sort of get people on it. But I don't think
they used to close X Sector and Dark Forest and have everything else open.
Is that what they used to do?
On February half term, yeah.
So I don't know, potentially, maybe they could do that. I don't think they will do it, at least not for the next year or two. But yeah, it'd be nice if they did, definitely.
Says on here, will Blackpool do a winter season?
I doubt it. Yeah, back, haven't they?
They've obviously been open through November, haven't they? So they've kind of opened that extra month, which I assume is why they're reopening in March. It does make sense, and it gives them more time for the rides as well. So
going back to Thorpe Park, though, like here's me going Krampus, because they'll just think that would be quite cool. Just any excuse to have a Krampus sort of scare
grotto,
just like a scare maze, not a grotto.
Krampus's grotto,
because they did so well. But yeah, but then also they've got I'm a Celebrity experience, didn't they? That they did. I don't know if it's still going, but obviously that comes around November, December time, doesn't it?
It does.
I don't think it's something people were up.
But obviously they'd have to keep changing it every year, wouldn't they? So, but
just while you mentioned scare mazes, just quickly, are you doing any Christmas scare mazes?
So the ones that I did want to do are apparently not running this year, which I'm a bit gutted about, to be honest. The only one that is running is the Walsall Scare Maze, and that is a little bit.
Scare Kingdom not doing it anymore.
Scare Kingdom aren't doing it this year. No, I reached out to them, and unfortunately they cancelled it. And Yorkshire Scaregrounds that do normally do a Christmas offering for the second year running aren't doing that either. So I'm a bit gutted, to be honest with you. I really wanted to do it, but I am planning on returning to York Dungeon this week and covering that. Even though I know it's very much the same, but you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of nice to do sort of scarier experiences through Christmas time. So that's kind of the best I get really up this end, unfortunately. Never mind.
And the Alton Towers events will come back. If he's talking about Mardi Gras and Oktoberfest and Festival of Thrills, I think minus Festival of Thrills, which I think is a maybe, everything else will probably come back, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Festival of Thrills didn't really work, in my opinion, personally. It was nice seeing live music around the park, but it didn't have a festival feel to it. It
Just should have been on the main stage.
It should have, yeah. That's how it should have been done. It should have been done as a proper festival on a big stage, basically, and done it that way. But not around, you know, not all these little stages dotted here, there, and everywhere. That it just didn't work, to be honest, at all. It really didn't. Didn't add anything to the park.
I love festival.
I enjoyed like the Festival of Thrills, but it was like we kept saying, I kept turning around to Mike going, it's great, but it'd be even better if it was on that big stage that they used for Oktoberfest. It would have been better up there. And then you get
the one other thing as well is there was very similar vibes between Festival Thrills and Mardi Gras, with the way that you had all these theme zones for the rides and stuff and live entertainment around there. It felt quite similar. Not, obviously, it wasn't completely identical because Mardi Gras is a whole different thing, but it was a very similar setup, really. You know, you had these crews. Well, obviously, these groups of people that were all themed around all the different rides. Obviously, Mardi Gras, they have the crews that are themed around the rides, or themed around certain things. It just felt very similar, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah. I think they should make more use out of that big stage.
I liked Festival of Thrills. We went there the second time just to watch Glow again.
And it's and we thoroughly enjoyed it. Like,
the music was good. The music was really good. Some of the acts were really good as well, but I just didn't get the overall thing of it. Basically,
I think a lot of people didn't realise that you could vote for who would be the favourite band and stuff as well. So
I see. Not even I knew that.
For the first one that they saw and thought,
I don't think the Wicker Man stage was in a good place, or the X Sector one. They didn't seem like they were in good places to actually stop and watch.
I think the rides are just as a distraction from the bands that were playing.
Especially when you had the Rita one, and you literally had the ride zipping past every couple of seconds and like a couple of minutes or whatever it was, and obviously all you hear in the background is go, 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 and then it's like that, and you
yeah. To be honest, that's the one that we stayed at as well. That's the thing. Yeah. We actually stayed and had a good dance. If you watch one of our previous vlogs, it was. I enjoyed it, but I enjoy any kind of music because I'm a bit of a.
No, to be fair, I love live music. I really do. I grew up on the local music scene. I've worked with some pretty big name bands over the years when my dad used to be a PA man. So I absolutely adore live music, and I adore going to gigs and everything else. From the standpoint of the music, that was great. But I think when you go into a theme park, you either have an area that's dedicated to the live music, or you have the rides. You don't try and mix both together. It just doesn't. They don't gel at all. They really don't.
I agree on that one. Yeah.
Did you want to tell us about the Guisley Christmas TeePee?
So this is something that's in my local area, basically. Guisley Christmas TeePee is in its first ever year. It's not something that we've had around here before. And what's happened is that Bar Events UK that do, they basically go around all the... So anytime you kind of go to a bar or somewhere like that and you see one of these big sort of brown teepees outside, or little areas you can kind of sit underneath, they provide all of that. But what they've done is they've teamed up with some local businesses, basically, 2 local catering firms and a local craft beer shop, which is basically it's the person I go to for my beer. Now they've teamed up with those. They've got food, they've got fire pits, they've got a fully licensed bar. There's 2 different settings. You've got an indoor setting where you can sit actually inside the teepee where the bar is. It's got a fire pit in there. It's absolutely beautiful. And then you've also got the sort of outdoor side teepee as well, which is opposite where the food is. Again, you've got a fire pit in there as well. You can literally buy marshmallows. I think it's like, was it £2?
Oh, cheap for towers.
£2 for about 7 or 8 marshmallows.
Oh, right.
You get a proper full cup, basically. And it was lovely. It was really nice. Now, the food is really nice. And funnily enough, I kind of got obviously my chance to kind of sort of speak with the businesses that were running it as well. And there's some really great guys there. They really are absolutely fantastic. And it's such a nice little audition for this area. It's somewhere really different. It's running on a weekend all the way up until 23rd of December. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, really nice little audition.
Can we go?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. You're busy this weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm very close, so there is obviously guest accommodation right here for you if you want to come stay with us. More than welcome to.
I'm more than
That's you guys. That's everyone else. Sorry, I don't have that much room, but you know,
the craft beer shop he goes to has the advantage of actually selling the craft beer I want to buy.
Oh my gosh!
They sell the well, it's sold out at the moment, isn't it? The naughty and
In
nice.
return, should we get the blue monkey?
What, the one you drank all of
The
on
one
Sunday?
I drank
If you're
last
watching
time.
Roller Coaster Rivals on Sunday,
I'm
she
not
drank
very
it all.
proud of that. I can't believe
I've gone through a lot of stouts recently, put it that way, and I can tell because it's all piling on my waistline. But quite frankly, it's Christmas, and I don't care. So
Enjoy.
if you can't get
we
fat
all?
for Christmas, when can you? You know.
I'm holding mine right now. My waistline.
You like the way there's like
I'm overflowing.
from the right we've got like is that just a cup of marshmallows or is that hot chocolate?
So that no, that was actually a hot chocolate. You got loads of cream and everything. It was proper sort of melted chocolate as well. It was really nice. Obviously, you can see I was roasting marshmallow there. I burnt my first one, and then after that, I figured out how to just kind of get it right. So the rest of them were really nice. And then obviously, then I had a lovely pint of German beer, which was very, very nice. In fact, I had 2 of those, and I felt a little bit kind of a little bit tipsy. So very good stuff.
Did they do like a cherry or a strawberry beer?
They didn't. Well, actually, I'd tell a lie. They didn't have it on tap, but I think they had bottles in the fridge. And failing that, the shop's 2 minutes down the road. So
Awesome.
you could always take a walk down, go grab a couple, and then go back.
Was it quite crowded?
It wasn't actually. No, it was quite chilled out. There's loads of seating available, all inside, kind of in and around the TP inside, and then the same on the outside as well. It's a really sort of nice, spacious setup. It's a really it's a good little event, and I'm not just saying that because I'm local. I genuinely, I think it's been a breath of fresh air for this area. It's something we definitely needed because you're kind of very sort of isolated from the rest of sort of the bigger sort of side of things from up here. I mean, obviously we're quite close to Leeds, and there's a lot that goes on in Leeds, but where we are, there's not much else you can really do. So to have something like this kind of on our doorsteps is great. It really is.
It gets away from all the busyness of Christmas shoppers and stuff, is it?
Have you got any more news on
just chill.
the TPI meet? Darryl was asking.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be meeting up at 10 a.m. outside Towers Trading. And then it is, I mean, this is just a meetup. This is literally just a case of come and join us. We'll all go on some rides together. There's no sort of structure to the day as such. If you want to join us, you are more than welcome to do so. We can kind of obviously sort of try and do a bit of a takeover style thing. But obviously long term, I want to look at slightly more structured events, and that is something that I am looking at as we speak. But of course, there would be costs attached to that and everything else. It wouldn't be a case of it being free. So this is a little bit of a trial run just to sort of see how many people are interested in this. How many people do want to join us, how popular this is. Obviously, if it is quite a big event and a lot of people do turn up to kind of come and join us for the day and go on the rides and stuff, that's great. I can look at other options available moving forwards. But 10 o'clock outside Towers Trading on opening day. There you go.
The guys, if you want to have a go, just put like 2 hands up if you want to have a go at joining. It'd be awesome to see. Or just alien. But either way.
Are you going to be there on the Sunday as well, or just the Saturday?
Just a Saturday at the moment, but I would like to be there for both days if possible. I'm looking at accommodation as we speak as well. So, fingers crossed.
I
want to stay over.
Because I'd be like, it's people that other than see on the screen.
Well, Top Phil Torres are already joining us anyway. Emma's told me that her and Carl are going to come and join us for the day. So we've got those guys in.
Awesome.
So just going back to Scare Kingdom quickly, does that mean they're not doing their Valentine's Day events, do you think?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I just asked about the Christmas one. I'd imagine if the Christmas one's out, then the Valentine's will be out as well. Yorkshire Scaregrounds aren't doing their Valentine's either, sadly. So it's looking like they're just focusing on kind of the Halloween side of things at the moment. I hope it changes, really, because we do need more stuff like that throughout the year, especially near Christmas. But yeah, it looks like Halloween just now.
Is Darryl dressing as a banana on opening weekend? That's what we need to ask.
Are you dressing as a banana?
I reckon he will. In fact, you know what? Go on, Daryl. Dress as a banana.
Doesn't dress as anything else, does he?
No, Aaron's taken the staple pineapple, so we can't be having that one.
We should get the whole fruit salad going. Come on.
A couple of strawberries, an orange, a couple of apples. You know.
Yeah, and then it'll be the kind of thing where there'll be these big like
fruit salad takeover.
These big like bulbous outfits that we can't wear on the rides.
People in the queue line, please watch out for flying fruit chunks. Thank you very much.
Is there anything else as we start to wind down, is there anything else you wanted to mention to the people watching?
Just mainly, I want to say a massive thank you for obviously all the support that you guys have shown me throughout the year, and just obviously in the past as well. You know, TPI just wouldn't be where it is today without you guys. So just thank you so much. Also, if anyone wants a TPI pin badge, we've got loads available.
I've got one. I'm not wearing it.
Ours is still on the Christmas tree that I took a photo of, which I still.
That was one thing I've just remembered. I was meant to be wearing that on my hat.
Don't they have really good quality badges, guys? So I will put that on my personal Instagram, so you can get the link for it as well.
They're actual pin badges as well. They're not like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
not like the one with the thing on the back, and people say it's a pin badge, but it's not.
Try and hold it up so you can see it.
Badges.
Have you put one on your display?
Like that.
Yeah, it's down here somewhere. Little ball.
Right in the centre.
Yeah. I need to move it up a bit. But
Do
yeah.
you want to tell people what we're doing tomorrow?
So tomorrow, because I'm a bit forgetful.
No, it's because a lot of stuff happened. But we've done 1 to 10 on this advent calendar.
Due to commitments.
I'll put it in front of my face. But we're doing 11 through 15 tomorrow. And then tomorrow also, I don't know if it's going to be a whole hour, but we're going to go through. You've seen people put TV schedules for BBC. We're going to be putting a schedule for Christmas content across other people's YouTube channels that you might want to check out over Christmas time. So you're going to want to watch that, I think, hopefully. So we're going to be opening that live tomorrow.
I'll be going this at this
and
time.
We're going to be telling you about some of the other content that's coming up on, I think, some of our channel, but also there's some other channels as well. And on Monday, we're going to be live for half an hour. We're going to do a pre-show before the quiz on Walking with the Woods on Monday. So he's going to come on and we're going to do like an improv pre-show for about half an hour and see how that goes. It went all right before.
Yeah.
Okay, my Monday.
But if no one else has got anything to say, we might wrap it up there for tonight. I think Daryl was out of things to say, Mr. Banana Man. You will be in the banana costume though.
Yes.
I will. Fantastic. Good. Awesome.
Do you know what? I think at least people might have to wear something with a fruit on it, at least. Like
what? A little pin badge.
Just a little banana. Someone have a little banana. And a theme park insanity one, of course.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, thank you so much, guys. That obviously
That's been fun. And also on Sunday. Do you tell them what we do on Sunday? Yeah.
Yep, that'll be back live from 8 o'clock. I do apologise there wasn't one this week, but obviously we were out the TP and things didn't kind of go as planned. So this week we will be back live from 8 o'clock over on our YouTube channel. Come and join us in the chat, and yeah, we'll have a chat about the latest news.
Yeah, so we'll see everyone tomorrow. I might do it at 7:30 tomorrow.
7:30.
So I think it's only going to be about half an hour.
Just because of traffic.
But what did you want to say before we go?
Just thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Just don't forget to give us a like and just spread the word around.
And go over to Joe's channel as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, pointing that way. Go to Joe's as well. Just me jazz hands, alien hands. But yeah.
Oh, if Adventure Bears are watching, this is the
this
alien onesie.
my alien one.
Have from Adventure Bears like 3-eyed animals. So
That's epic.
Oh yeah, we'll see you on opening day, Daryl, definitely. We'll see you in the chat on TPI live on Sunday.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be going through the schedules on the smaller YouTube channels. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But
It'll be a really good Christmas.
Yeah. So we'll see you
in the rear view, because for now
we're gone.